So I'm here at Paul's workshop to check out Andy's bakkie. They're busy pulling the engine out as we speak. We found a couple hoses that need to be replaced. I think the boost pipe needs to be replaced. We've ordered a set of radiator hoses from Terrain Tamer. It's actually amazing that Terrain Tamer actually stock parts for so many different vehicles, so we've actually managed to get a few things from Terrain Tamer. We did a whole kind of service kit, so that once basically the engine goes back in and everything, they can do a full service, replace all the filters, all that stuff, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, the turbo is going to need to be rebuilt for sure. It's not looking so good. It looks like it is already an aftermarket turbo, not necessarily the best quality one, and the whole core of the turbo isn't that great. It's not balanced properly, and there's a lot of movement and play and stuff on it. And then also the actual blades themselves are completely bent and whacked. Needless to say, that is going to need a rebuild, which is not necessarily the cheapest thing, but it is what it is. It's already pulling really nicely, so I can't imagine with the new turbo on there and a rebuilt turbo how that would feel. And something I just want you guys to bear in mind is that car's got 280,000 Ks on it, and we're having to do quite a lot of maintenance. But my bakkie, I bought it 80,000 Ks, and I've had to do a new turbo, I've had to do new brakes, I've had to do a lot of new different things on this vehicle. So, you know, just because you're going to buy a newer vehicle doesn't mean you don't have to do maintenance, doesn't mean you don't have to pay to get things fixed. So the reason why we went for a bakkie that was cheaper for Andy was that so he would have budget to be able to actually fix the vehicle. If we tapped out his entire budget on buying a car for 250 grand, and then he still had to go and do maintenance on the vehicle, how's he going to afford to be able to do the maintenance? So that's the thing. I look at my car, I paid over 300,000 Rand for my vehicle, and I still had to do a hell of a lot of work on it. So it is just one of those things that it is the reality of it. My suspension needed to be replaced, my brakes needed to be replaced, all of those different things. Those are all the same things that we're needing to do on Andy's vehicle. There are a few extra things that we need to do, but that's okay. We've budgeted for it. We're going to do it. We've got the budget to be able to work on and do those things on the vehicle. Let's see how it goes here at Paul over the next couple of days. Once the engine is out and he's looked inside, hopefully we don't uncover any more drama. But whatever happens, we take it as we go, and we try and do our best to fix it in the most sensible and cost-effective way, but still preserving the longevity of the vehicle, and that this vehicle can be used for overlanding. So, let's keep going.
Belly of the beast. It doesn't look bad,
pretty good, eh?
Yeah, it doesn't look bad, Adrian.
Yeah. That looks...
It's not gunged up or...
No.
Yeah, she's actually looking good.
Conscious gasket.
Yeah, well, that's going to be replaced. That's a half moons. It seals the... It's to actually access the camshafts.
Oh, okay.
You see, if you look at it, you can access your...
Oh, to do your timing.
Yes.
Wow. Well, this is the first time I'm seeing inside of an engine, so it's pretty cool.
You serious?
Yeah.
Oh, lekker. This isn't bad for diesel engine actually. It's actually very, very clean. It's going to be flushed and serviced and...
There it goes.
This. That doesn't work. That is like a no-no.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was a big cover-up.
Yeah.
You know?
So they were just putting silicone everywhere where it was leaking, but it actually needed to get new gaskets and...
Yes, but look at this. Why?
Oh, the thing's like 50% glue.
Yes, it's bugged.
Up top for sure.
Ooh. Water. Oh, there goes some. Now this is what we were seeing from underneath. All the drippy Drippy droppies.
Well clean. That's all good.
What the hell is that?
And this is the pickup for the oil feed. And that's blocked so the motor doesn't get oil. Check what's coming out of here.
Chunks!
Silicone.
No, hard plastic. And that was covering the pickup.
That's not good.
Yeah.
See, it's so geared. All geared. There's an O-ring there, but this is so flat, so they just pumped it full of
Silicone.
silicone.
Fixes all the problems I've heard.
Yep.
So where the hell is that from?
That could be a tensioner or a guard.
The plot thickens.
No, I don't like that.
Okay, the investigation
I
continues.
think we're going to have to strip all of this, Adrian.
Yeah.
And that's from the same guard.
Yeah.
You can see the coloring.
Not great.
Well, let's hope
Yeah.
broken, it's been replaced.
Same color as the glass.
I don't know if you can zoom in here. You see how chewed it? Yeah. The guard side is buggered. That's the pieces we've seen in the sump,
Let's see.
unfortunately.
So that's coming
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it in there.
Guard is broken.
Yeah, there it is.
You see it?
Yeah. Because
If
that'll.
that other piece comes off,
Yeah.
Brakes, cams, brakes,
Yeah.
you can
rockers,
break
brakes.
this whole engine.
Yeah.
Check there.
Yeah.
What's left of it?
And then, I mean, obviously should not be able to be loose like that.
No.
That should be firmly in position.
No.
All this silicone.
Just careful the
Yeah.
facing, eh?
Not pushing too hard.
Yeah.
That should be out. That's it.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, well that's not what we hoped
Not
for.
first prize, no.
No. Check here.
Oh, that's actually been caught in the.
Yeah. It was there.
That's. Well, I think it's good that we're getting bits of that out of the engine.
But I mean, if you look at the inside of the engine here, it's quite clean. It's not bad. Not bad at all.
The engine is actually in relatively good condition, considering there's just one or two things: the gaskets, this,
Yes.
and what else?
Chain kit.
The chain kit. We've done the turbo already,
Turbo's done.
And all the seals.
and all the seals.
And
It's
then
actually
all the
not that
gaskets.
bad.
Yeah.
Rather,
we got
rather we figure it out now than down the line. But that's the whole point of taking the engine apart and looking inside and seeing what's actually wrong.
It was a good call.
Yeah.
No, then just replacing crank seals and capot cover gasket, this could have caused him the whole motor.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you reckon that's it for today?
I think so.
Okay, so that was very enlightening. That was actually pretty good to see everything come apart. Just to know that the heart is actually pretty good and that a lot of the components on the engine are actually in good condition. For now, we know what we need to do. The turbo's actually been redone already, so that's waiting to go in. It's looking beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Then we've got we're gonna have to do the new timing chain. So that's fine, but at least we've picked that up. You know, we've picked that up in a good amount of time. We can see, okay, this is not going to cause further damage to the engine, because if the timing chain goes, the whole engine goes. So that's good to pick that up and replace it. It's not that expensive. It's $1,950 or something like that for the whole timing chain kit. New tensioners, guides, and chain. So that's not bad. You know, so we're going to get that done. The turbo, I think, is about $7.5 to get the turbo rebuilt. So that's a new core, balancing everything, and they've checked the turbo. They say it's good. So everything is, that's good to know. And, you know, that's something that you'd have to do anyway on a lot of vehicles that are a bit older, especially turbo diesels and stuff. So what else did we pick up? So we've got a new gasket kit going in. I think that was about 4.5 for the gasket kit. We're not doing the head gasket. The head actually seems pretty good. It seems well sealed and all of that stuff. And the engine has actually been running really well. So we don't think there's anything else that's going to need to be looked at, the injectors or anything like that. So it's very expensive to do the injectors. So that's kind of something you only really want to do once it's causing problems. So for now, there isn't really any sign of that being problems. The main problem has been the leaking of the oil and stuff like that. And now, obviously, it had a bit of a rough idle and a bit of like a noisy engine. And that's probably because that timing chain has been able to rattle. So that's probably going to smooth out the sound of the engine a little bit as well, which is nice. But yeah, that's actually been pretty constructive. So they'll work on that over the next couple days. I'll come back once they're ready to put everything back together. And yeah, then we can do a filter service on the vehicle and get it running. Paul said he'll fix up the four-wheel drive system and the diff lock, all of that stuff. It's all super simple. It's literally just soldering a couple connectors on the plugs and getting in that new little pipe. Hopefully, and he'll install the ABS sensor. So basically, by the time we come back, we're pretty much ready for the vehicle to kind of move on. And we can start actually putting on canopies and start looking at suspension and doing all of that stuff. So that's pretty good. We've been very excited about that. I see everybody is very been heated in the comments about the condition of the vehicle and the dealership and all of that stuff. So just so you guys know that, you know, we engaged on this project. You know what I mean? We committed to it. We still think that even though the vehicle is in the condition it's in, the chassis is really good. The engine, despite the oil leaks and everything, is really good. And the body still looks pretty good. So it is one of those things where the things that are broken can be fixed. And, you know, we're not going to endure that much extra expense over buying a newer vehicle. And anything, like, you can't guarantee that a newer vehicle has been serviced and has been maintained well either. So it is one of those things, you know, we're going to have a cool vehicle. Now, this vehicle, I mean, for Andy, is massive, so it needs to be reliable, it needs to be good, but it's also going to be a camera car on the Rome series, so it needs to be reliable and be able to follow this vehicle and any of the future Rome vehicles wherever they go. So it's important that we get the vehicle fixed properly and then that it's done nicely. So yeah, let's we'll touch base with you guys soon, and hopefully we'll be popping that new engine in and we'll be driving that vehicle away here pretty soon. Anyways, cheers.